Welcome back to Kick and Crochet. So I wanted to tell you about this project that I'm doing this year. I'm calling it the Year of Gloves, and I've got a different fingerless glove pattern for you for each month of 2024. Can you believe it's already 2024 or almost 2024? So I decided that I wanted to do something fun. I really enjoyed doing the interlocking tiles blanket where I released a square every month. And so I wanted to do something a little bit different. This one doesn't have any interlocking crochet, but it is a monthly release. I decided to keep it simple, so all of these patterns will use a DK weight yarn and a size G crochet hook. So what I used was Swish DK yarn. It's a 100% merino wool, and it's relatively soft, and it comes in a lot of different colors. It's a superwash, so it's pretty simple, and it's really easy to get online. The link's in my description. So if you want to follow along with the exact colors that I made, you can. When I originally started making these, I actually was using this beautiful yarn that's a hand dye, and I decided that that really wasn't fair because there's no way you could actually recreate the glove that I made. But I did actually keep some of the samples. So I did the first like 9 or 10 gloves with this other yarn, and then I switched. But it offers me a great opportunity to talk about variegated versus solid yarn, so I'll touch on that in a minute for yarn choice. However, you can use any DK weight yarn you'd like and a size G crochet hook. The patterns are written for hand sizes from 7 to 9 inches, and that's if you measure around the knuckles of your hand. So you can either take a cloth tape measure, or you can wrap a piece of yarn and then measure how long that yarn is to figure out what size you are. I wear a 7-inch glove, which is why all of my tutorials are based on a 7-inch glove. However, the pattern is written for 7-inch all the way up to 9-inch. So I'm just going to share a quick sneak peek of all of the gloves. This is the one that's coming real soon. This is the January glove. I'm calling it the Block Party Fingerless Glove because it uses these fun block stitches. That is one of my favorite lesser used stitches. It's basically like a sideways puff stitch. So this is glove 1. It's coming soon. All of these are available for purchase from Ravelry or Etsy, or you can purchase on Ravelry the whole set of 12 for a steep discount, and the links for that are in my description as well. I will have video tutorials for all of them. Like I said, I will show the 7-inch glove only because that's the size I wear, so that I can demonstrate fit and construction. But that's that. So that's January. I wanted to have a variety of styles. Most of them are bottom up, but I do have some that are worked sideways. I've got some that use short rows. I've got some that use shells, simple stitches, just so that there's a wide variety, because I know there's a lot of different opinions about what people like. So that's January, February, keeping it simple. March, welcoming in the spring with something bright and colorful. April, I actually love this glove, but it is probably the most complicated glove of the set. May, I think I have these in order. Hopefully I'm right. June, this one's totally different. July, this one does not look the prettiest when it's not on, but it's actually the most comfortable of all of them because it's so stretchy. I actually love this glove. August, again going back to some more simple stitches in these next couple. So August, September, October, I feel like we had to do something kind of pumpkin-y. This one also a little bit less simple, but still pretty. So it's October. November, things are getting cold, so we're getting a little bit thicker. And I made this one with a little pocket so you can fit one of those instant hand warmers in there, so you could choose which way to wear it, either on your palm or on the back of your hand. And then December, I don't know why, cables for December just for fun. So that is the set of 12. All of these are already written, they're ready to go. A few of them are still in testing and I need to film video for them, but otherwise they are ready for you. And I'm so excited about this. Let's talk a little bit about yarn choice. So variegated versus non-variegated. So this is the first glove. And here's the plain yarn, here's the variegated yarn. I actually love this glove. I think it looks beautiful. It fits perfectly. It's super comfy. But you can see that the puff stitches or the block stitches don't really pop out as much with the variegated yarn as they do with the simple solid color yarn. So that's a choice you can make. You can use whichever one you want, but here's just kind of a visual example. This might not be the best glove for a variegated yarn, but it still looks pretty good. However, if you get this one or this one. These are great gloves for variegated yarn because the stitch pattern is so simple. So variegated yarn, as a general rule, the simpler the stitch, the more exciting you can get with the yarn. So these ones are really great opportunities to use the variegated yarn. So that's, I think, February and September gloves. This one I feel like is a terrible opportunity for variegated because it really just kind of buries the cables. You can still see them, but they don't really pop the way they do with a solid color yarn. So I would not recommend a variegated yarn for this one. Even though, again, the yarn itself is beautiful. You can still see it, but I feel like you just kind of lose that in the yarn. This one, a great opportunity for variegated yarn. It is shaped, but the stitch itself is simple, and so the variegated really shows off the color. I also really like it in solid, so you can kind of make that determination for yourself. This one, in the variegated, you don't really see the bump texture at all. So this one has cat hair on it, but it also has this bumpy texture. And you really don't see that very much with the variegated yarn. The texture is completely lost. So if you don't care about that, then it's a great one for variegated because it is actually pretty simple stitches, but you do lose that. And I didn't do all of these in this yarn, so I don't have samples for all of them. This one, totally fine for variegated because it's such a simple pattern, right? The shells, I love this yarn. I think this one could go either way. I wouldn't go with a highly variegated. I think that this yarn is beautiful for this, but I wouldn't probably go for something like this because I feel like the shells would get lost completely in the color. So you've got to kind of think about how complicated the stitches are when you're trying to decide whether to go for variegated or not. So the only other ones I didn't have variegated samples on. I think you could kind of make a determination for yourself. This one I probably wouldn't go for a variegated just because you want to really see that stitch definition in there, and the variegated you're going to lose that a little bit. So I hope that helps when you're picking yarns. Pick whatever one you like best, pick whatever one makes you happy, that you like to work with, and I hope that you're happy with the finished product. So I hope you'll join me in the year of gloves, and happy crocheting.